Bang, and I'm your host for Money Mania, live here at Money 2020 with Enfuce. And today I've got the privilege to be joined by our guest, Mike Lovelock. So Mike, tell me a bit about yourself and what is your role at Mastercard?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So I work in our FinTech Enablers team in Europe at Mastercard. And the goal of the team really is to work with partners like yourself to help you scale across Europe and understand your specialisms and where your proposition fits nicely and makes sense for each of your customers.
Yeah. So we're at Money 2020 at the moment. It's day 2. What are you most excited about today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fantastic event first and foremost, right? I'm always so excited before I even get here because you've got that great mix of, you're going to meet existing partners. There's always people to chat to who are maybe you haven't come across before. They have maybe someone started a new scale up this year, and you can sort of understand what they're doing and look to add that into to what you already understand about the industry, but also look for then opportunities either for Mastercard themselves or perhaps something we can introduce, replicate across our partners. In terms of what I'm most excited about for today, I think it's just a mixture of learning something new, looking at the content, and catching up with colleagues. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Has there been any really exciting things that you learned from the past couple of days? I know that, for example, human versus machine, which is, sounds really sci-fi, but in a practical sense, how do you see AI shaping payments? It's like the number one topic that is taking over the payments industry at the moment. What are your thoughts on that?
It's felt a little bit sort of distant to me as something specific for a while, but I think you're seeing a few instances now of actual sort of use cases and it coming to life a little bit. Personal opinion. Yeah. So if I think about, we did a press release earlier in the week around our partnership with Bank, where they're leveraging Mastercard's open banking, and if you think about AI in that context. Bank's able to utilize the open banking to give access to their customers across all of their bank accounts and bring that into their app. That then gives insights to the users for all the data across all their apps. And then if you bring AI into the equation there, you've got Bank's kind of in-house proprietary AI system, which they've even given a name, which is Fin. So you've got then the insights from all that data that's come into the app, and then they're leveraging their own AI to, to draw information from all that data, of course, all the accounts, and for example, look at travel expenses over the last year or something. So it's gone from, for me, for something that feels a little bit like robots taking over or something a little bit, a bit wild and wacky to, you're now seeing real use cases. And it's, to me, a couple of years back, it was all around big data and everyone was talking about bringing that into the ecosystem and everything like that. And now I think AI is gonna, one use case at least of AI, I'm sure there'll be many more, is gonna be to help you get value from that data, right? Make it all make sense, bring it together, make it useful. That's the top.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people have that perspective of them being scared of AI because everyone thinks it's going to in the future replace jobs, right? But in a way, especially in the payments services as well, it's it's how can we help our customers a lot more, become more efficient, a lot of automation, for example. So in terms of, for a lot of people that are still maybe feeling scared about AI kind of taking over, what are your thoughts on, that and a bit of kind of reassurance? Do you think that it's,
Yeah, I think these things are always a journey, right? At the start, when it's very brand new, I guess maybe it was the same for FinTech at the start. What does this new phrase mean? How do you make that tangible? So I think what we're seeing now with a use case like I gave you there, or also you were talking at your partner event recently about how you leverage that in your day-to-day working life. So as we see more and more instances of it coming in and being practical, then it will make a bit more sense. And then, as we all know from the space, people will latch on to that and think, that's a great example. I can add X, Y, Z onto that, and it evolves itself, and then who knows what we'll be talking about. Will it be AI next year? Will it be the new term? So it'll be interesting to watch.
Exactly. So any predictions on the hot topics that will become trends as we move beyond 2025? So I know we're talking about AI now and today. But what are the other hot topics that are maybe bubbling in your mind that you think are maybe going to be the new hot topics?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about what would be hot topics, but for me,
AI's been really prominent, hasn't it? For a good couple of
fair point.
Yeah.
I think what I am really interested to sort of keep track on is the digitization.
Yeah.
So we're very much a strategic focus for Mastercard to keep helping to drive that digitization with tokenization products and stuff that we have. So that's an ongoing, trend. But for me as well, with an acceptance and acquiring background, and now more recently working in the issuing space, I love to see that convergence of the two sides of payments, if you can still say they are separated.
Absolutely.
More and more coming together. You see some of the acquirers now issuing virtual cards.
Absolutely, yeah.
Players like yourselves obviously empowering that. So yeah, the continuation of that convergence of those two sides, and then what use cases is that gonna create next year or sooner, or in the years to come. So that's a little bit of a personal area of interest for me to track that.
And lastly, to round up then, for Money 2020, and I've already asked, what's been most kind of exciting, but what are you looking forward to next in Money 2020? What are the kind of conversations that you've been having, key learnings?
I think continue to be challenged by the new companies, the new fintechs that come along, and it's great to meet with the existing ecosystem, but I also love those curveball meetings where you've got someone who's got, they've got this problem they want to help solve for, or that sort of thing. So I love just kind of taking a meeting, taking a discussion with someone new into the space, who you can help out, and all the way down to the other end of the spectrum where you've got someone who's been around the industry for a time, and now they've decided they're going to go down this focused path with something to solve a particular problem. So
absolutely.
A bit of a, not a direct answer to your question maybe, but I just love the sort of diversity of discussions.
Absolutely,
that you can have.
And it's such the payments community as well is such a diverse community, I'd say, and it's a really friendly community too. So me and everyone here, I think it's just such a great networking opportunity. I think the most out of anything, and Money 2020 definitely doesn't fail to do that at all. So it's been so exciting to meet new people and catch up with all partners, like you say. And for example, with AllPay, for example, we went live with the announcement today that we're launch our new partnership. So it's just been good to create a buzz around it for us as well. And with the Enfuce stand, we're definitely creating a buzz too. And it's been really positive today. So I want to thank you for joining us for the Money Mania interview. And we hope you have a really good rest of the time at Money 2020.
Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.